Hey, afternoon, everybody. You have the Wicked Lady Hippy at the bar. It's my freaking bar. No kiddies allowed because I am like George Carlin, gonna drop a few F bombs here and there now and then. This is my second channel. Hey, everybody, welcome. If you ain't seen me before, do the scribe like thing, do some shit. Yeah, I had to start a new channel. I had a terrible injury, and I was completely out of action for a year, out of Facebook, everything, couldn't do anything. And I'm back on my feet finally, but my channel had been paused. And so I can't get it to do what it needs to do. So I'll keep working on that. In the meantime, I opened a second channel. I only changed like a word or two. So if you want to find out what you missed, it's Wicked Lady Hippie at the bar on my other channel. And boy, these things are just, I love my golden mic. I do. My husband bought this for me a couple of years ago when I decided, hey, I want to try that. He and my son bought me a set and my husband bought me a set. And then we had to replace sets, but we didn't really. So it's a long story. I'm the only one you've got. I don't have a script. I don't have somebody over here yelling, cut. I do this live chats up in case anybody doesn't know. Excuse me, it's a bar stool, so I have to get comfortable. I have on just for the ladies, just in case you're wondering. Yeah, that black and white pattern starts at the waist, and there's a little belt I put on there. I'm wearing a pair of sandals my husband just bought for me. They're very nice, and they don't hurt my leg. So that's nice to know. Trust me, it's not easy to find shoes anymore. And I have like, 400 pairs of shoes and boots and sandals and house shoes, and then might as well just throw them all out. But I'm hoping I'm not overdoing the sound. One of my friends caught this finally, and she thought there was a problem with the sound. So I'm trying to make sure I'm not too loud and I'm not too much from the can. And I have a fairly loud speaking voice, Army veteran. If I yell at you, people down the street know. Oh no, she used their full name, Ron. So I'm up here trying to say, okay, I didn't get up here this week. We have been in hell week. It's like we were in college and being screwed. It was, everything. My car went down. My husband's a master mechanic as well as a long haul semi driver and instructor for that as well. He's been doing it for a long time. Yeah, we're not young, but thank you for the compliment. You throw that into live chat so folks can see it. Here, let me get y'all started. There we go. There we go. Let's put some stuff up here. Uh, it just, it's just like crazy over here. Now it's got this other thing. It doesn't want to do it now. I don't even know how this came up. And it's just, let's see. Well, it's not giving me much to go by. I'll put it that way. Um, and now I'm trying to look at the studio, and that's giving me a fit too. So this is fun. I don't even know why we got that pinned up here. It should be unpinned, but I'm not sure if it'll let me do it. So that's what's going on. Yep. Okay, we've done it. And I didn't have to turn it on and off again. Damn. So we're here at my bar, and there's all kind of shit going on. I am so loving the Donnie um, little shorts that they've got on YouTube. President Trump, and he's got all these people talking to him. He's a little cartoon. It's funny as hell. The man's funny as far as I'm concerned. He's got a dry wit. I haven't seen a president this funny since Reagan. I don't. You can't call me a Republican or a Democrat. And if I were, I wouldn't tell you yes, no way. As far as I'm concerned, that's why they had the little curtain in there so you could, you know, have a private vote. Of course, the giveaway was the hat, the sign, the shirt, the pin, screaming. It's supposed to be a private vote. People don't know who you vote for. There's a good reason for that. Just like we had the hurricane, I'm here in Augusta, Georgia. It cut us down for 2 weeks, and I had already had that accident, so I was being held together, waiting for the swellings and stuff to go down to go get surgery, and it hit. And for 2 weeks, this place was shut down. The entire city. I guess it's not that small. And here I am. I can't get in. Nothing can be done. you talk about agony. So I had a month before they even began to start repairs. So it took a little over a year for me to recover from all this stuff. So I'm back, and this is my second channel. So help me out if you see me. Tell me you didn't like it. I don't really give a shit, but you can. I don't make any money doing this. I'd like to. Who knows? Hmm. But hell, I'm a hippie. I really do. I have thicker skin than people know. I'm old and I have bail money, so test me. Just go for it. I fidget a lot when I'm up here. People ask, I can't get my friends and family to come up here, although they're all very intelligent. They won't do it, and they don't understand how I do it. And I'm like, I've been around since the phone was mounted to the wall and you had to be a fucking linebacker to get there. And I was like, oh, fuck that. Let me see who it's for. I will watch these guys kill each other. That was the fun I had, not the phone call. I watched everybody in the house go, one big angry ball of folk trying to get one phone. And none of them had a phone call. Now, my husband's had me on a cell phone and now a smartphone since '89. And I even then I was so stupid I didn't turn off the landline till '96. I was like, we paid for 4 years. We had one phone call. We haven't used it one time to call somebody else. We pay Sprint and them so much more just because we use those phones. So let's save a little bit of money to turn these guys out. I was thinking about having a landline put back in. It's just the two of us now. Although I think my husband would still break his neck getting to the phone. Me, I'd be sitting there going, go ahead. What you got? Published author is another thing about me. So, and I did want to show everyone. This is it's a lovely. It's pewter. The bottom is, and my stepdaughter bought this set of glassware for me and my husband on our anniversary. I think it's about 6 years ago, and it's very heavy. It's made of pewter. As you all know, I am at my bar. This is my bar. I share with my husband occasionally if he's been good. Not often. It's my bar. So I broadcast from the bar. Apparently, sometimes too loud. I'm not sure again. So I try to readjust and see if it gets a little bit better. And maybe it seems to me like I'm yelling, but I know I'm not yelling. I also have a whiskey fireball. My husband buys these for me. Now they come by the bucket. I'm the last remaining member of my family. My family all passed away: brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, father, mother, all of them. They've gone to glory ahead of me. Amen. May the memories be blessings. And I love how the Israelis say that. Uh, but oops, I'm the only one left. And almost to a person, they died of cirrhosis. And so everybody kind of freaks out. I'm like, I drink one of those maybe a day. And I like my whiskey on the rocks. And I'll tell you something. If you really want something to melt your eyes in about 13 seconds, there's some whiskey in that bitch. So to water it down for me in like 2.3 seconds. And I'm not drinking too much. Because I really don't want to drink more than one of those a day, if that. So I came up here on a Saturday because I missed so much time last week. Like I said, it was Hell Week. We lost the TV and in the main room. I don't think you can see it from this angle. I can move around. But in any event, it's mounted on the wall and all that. Well, I didn't think 3 inches would make that much difference. We looked and looked and looked, and we had a Roku. And we just couldn't find a Roku that was size we wanted. And finally, we found this. It was 3 inches shorter than what we used to have, but it was what we were looking for. And so my husband grabbed it. And of course, he called people for help because he knew I couldn't do it. I wanted to, but my leg would give up probably. I'm not healed yet. I may never be. And so he would not let me do that. And he went the next day. It went down at 7 p.m. the night before. And I was already on it looking for TVs. And he had two upstairs he could have mounted. They were smaller. And I just kind of looked at him like, really? Is that the way you want to go? We've been married several decades, and he was like, "No, no, we'll go tomorrow and get one." Gotta love the poor man. So, and I went with him just for Snickers because he picks out the equipment. I don't do that. And but I'm helping him look. So he decides above us decide we're going to get this one, and we bring it home. He calls people that he knows that call him at 2 a.m. He's out there for him. He called two or three of them. They were on their way. 4 hours later, he come in and he said, "Well, I give up. They're not going to show up. Fuck them. I'm gonna put this bitch up here myself." I was freaked out because I could not help at that point. I had just done my usual sweeping, mopping, winding around in grocery stores, so my leg and ankle were just they just swell up really bad, and so I'm up with ice pack every night if I do something like that. It's a normal day if I kind of sit and do a little bit and sit because I've learned to take more of a break now, which is probably why I can't figure out why it takes 4 days to do what I used to do after work. Now that I'm not working, we're retired, both of us, and I am more busy than I was when I was retired. I mean, when I wasn't retired. Let's have some more of that. When I was growing up, they said, "Don't talk about politics and religion." And it's all fucking anybody talks about is politics and religion. That's it. Hell, if you go to what they call the news programs, which they're calling legacy news now, which is funny as shit. I'm getting some things up here. And so, okay. Been listening to George Carlin as well. It's not helping. My husband finally, like I said, well, go back to that story. He got the TV up without me. And then I did like it because it was actually smaller. That 3 inches is just 3 inches. It's a difference on a TV. It really is. I'm getting used to it, but we're having the old one repaired, and we'll probably put this one back in the box and store it. Although it's bigger, I think, than the one I have. Yeah, it's bigger than the one I have in my room, and we have a mount. But we're now finding out that my son is looking at property to build a house on, and he wants his parents to come and live there, not in that house, but another house on the property that they'll put on the property. They're going to get 10 acres, and they want to sell us to sell and them to sell and move together. And they both just bought new vehicles, and I'm sure that's eating into some budget. And I know their home is expensive. It's over $250,000. Not mine. Mine's, probably worth 15, but they'll say 180. So you gotta love them. And so we're not sure when now that's going to happen. Apparently, we'll be told. We did agree. So it's 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 my last. It's my child. I only have one child. I have two grandchildren. My grandson's also an Army veteran. He got out of Korea and got home just before the pandemic closed everything down. So he stayed with us. We made the upstairs into two apartments, and so he loved that. And so does my husband. We called it this man cave, but it ended up as two apartments, which came in handy after I got so injured. He stayed with me for the first 3 or 4 months because I had to have help even getting up out of the bed. And then after I had surgery, finally, on the bad parts, put the ankle parts and the leg parts and all that stuff back in. And I've got a 9-inch fucking nail. I kid you not. You can't make this up. I've got a 9-inch knife in there. I broke both bones. There's only two bones in the leg. So and I didn't just break. I don't know how I did compound. I didn't just break them, but I snapped them into jagged pieces and spread around. So all of that, oh, it was a mess. The ankle was detached. I don't know if any of you know your anatomy, but the ankle basically has only two small bones that connect it to the leg. And you're trying not to screw up all the muscles so your leg will still, your foot is still moving. So this has been fun, but I am on my feet. I just can't stay there all night after a turned out to be an expensive day. So I don't have my car part in, so the car's still down, but my husband's is working, or he'd throw me in another car by now. So, but it's, I don't drive, but 2 or 3 times a month. It's driving me stupid suddenly that I can't get in my car and go somewhere. And I really don't drive much. I'm rather a homebody, which surprised me again. But I think I just got tired. I've been all over the world. I've been over the United States, and in a while, you just start to get tired. I have one of my necklaces messing with me, and well, it's in my little tucked into my shirt, but it seems to be snagged on something, so it's lying funny, and it's driving me. Yeah, it's driving me crazy. It's quite a few. It's a little aquamarine with a little diamond. It was a gift from my husband. Oh, just yeah. I'm just gonna let it stay there. I'm not gonna try to shove stuff down my blouse at the moment. So again, live chat's open. You can tell me anything and everything. I could drop videos. I don't. I'm kind of like Bill Maher. Hey, Bill. I've been watching Hey Johnny Carson, right? Then I'll watch you for, I'm so glad to see you've been doing so well. Joe Rogan, love you, guy. I watched you on news radio. Terrible thing what happened there, but seeing your career for years, glad you're with us. But I'm just a little amateur, and again, I'm a published author, so I don't like to grab somebody's videos and put them on and talk about that video. It's somebody else's video. Um, if you guys want to see videos, throw it in chat, throw it in comments, and I'll pull them. You know, as far as that goes, I'll do that. Otherwise, I'm kind of like a few other podcasters. I kind of just get up here and tell you what the hell I think because I have live chat, I have comment, and if you obviously don't agree with me, or if you agree with me, throw it in there. If you agree with me, subscribe. They like that at YouTube. That's why I mentioned they're screwing with my other channel. I don't know. Mm, mm. And so I thought, well, okay, we've gone through a couple of things, including religion. I don't know which religion is right. We were told, if y'all remember this, I got thrown out of a lot of churches. I asked too many questions. I could write a book again. So I don't know if y'all know. Things really have been getting a little bit biblical. I saw a camel floating by in a flood on the Sahara. I was like, okay, I've seen it all now. I can go now, God, because there was another thing about would not pass until this generation would not pass till we've seen it all. I saw the blood moon eclipse, and the next day there was a sun eclipse, and I was like, okay, I'm confused, which isn't surprising, knowing me, although I don't, but other people do. Oh, that's so good. That burst of cinnamon at the back of it. This is such a heavy glass. But I thought, well, I have all this stemware, tons of stemware. And I said, well, why am I going to sit there with, a red cup? I'm going to use my stemware because otherwise it's just never going to be used. The children don't. We have a huge china cabinet. I have a china set. I have two, very expensive. I bought the one while I was in England and brought it back. And I bought a second one. My husband and I did just kind of collected pieces. So we have lovely china, and it's older than my son, and my son is not very young, although he has started exercising again. Got hair here, and he's lost weight. I did that in my 40s too. You quit around 55. It's I did. Although I do see women and men too walk into Walmart, and I'm not sure what they're wearing. But whatever it is, it's screaming to get off. Ladies, if you're larger, buy the larger size. It'll look nice. You'll see. All this stuff rolling around, it probably isn't a good look. I'm just saying. Besides that, Walmart's got they got their bedroom slippers on. They got their little furry bunnets on. I don't know what all that rabbit stuff's about, but I've seen them. I've seen women come in their bathing suits, and you couldn't find a shirt long enough, or you couldn't find a towel. You couldn't find nothing but that suit, barefoot. when I was growing up, you couldn't do that. No shirt, no shoes. You don't get to come in. I was also raised if you're going out in public, you have to look like you're in public. You can't just run out in hair curlers and house shoes. You got to take the time to get dressed and clear your head, do all those things and look decent when you went out. And then, of course, being an Army veteran, it was the same way. I don't know what's up with all these Velcro, ugly uniforms that they have now. But Pete Hegseth, I love you, guy. Could you change that back to where people used to wear starched uniforms? They had to polish their shoes and their boots, and they wore brass, and they had yeah, because it looks like these boys and girls have been just sleeping in the same uniforms for a month. We need to take that back. Look at that. Look at them from the 70s, 80s, 90s. I don't care. Before they got into this camo, I can see it in the field, but I can't see it at home. I don't understand why they would be on base and off base and such horrific things. Their name tags rip on and off, all that. No, you can use those when you go to the field. If you're playing in sand, I understand that shit. But if you're running around the Capitol as a tourist, either wear civvies or put on a decent uniform. The Marines always look good. Hey, shout out to my Marines as far as that goes. But I'm definitely very disappointed, shall we say, in the Army. I don't think that's just uncovered right a bit. So I have a right to say that. I also said that I would mention Charlie Kirk at least once every time I did one of my podcasts. They assassinated him in front of millions live. As they did Kennedy. And the weird thing for me is I didn't know Charlie as anything other than the boy on campus that said, prove me wrong. He was so sweet. He was obviously a very religious man. He knew what he was doing, and he never needed notes. He didn't need a phone. He didn't need somebody whispering in his ear. You got up to a microphone and you said whatever question, and it was to prove him wrong. And they couldn't. And even they would end up smiling. Oh, they'd start by screaming and yelling. And Charlie would never raise his voice. He was always the sweetest man. I came in and I heard that he had been shot as I carried in groceries. And then I heard President Trump say, we're going to lower the flags. And I thought, how odd, but how great. And Donnie's great. I call him Donnie. I love him. If you can call Kid Rock Bob, President Trump, I can call you Donnie. I think it's cool. It's like alligator Alcatraz. I call it Gator Gitmo. I mixed up a little. I like, don't take that from me. I'm mine. I better put a patent on that bitch or something. My husband popped in. He knew I was going to try to make up a little bit of time since I wasn't up for 2 or 3 days this week. I also just I wasn't up to it. Like I said, once I run around and do things, it being the first of the month and my car is down, I have to get ready and then go with my husband. My husband will not go to my little supermarket, Walmart. He has to go to the big Walmart. And so by the time I'm halfway through, I'm dying to get off my feet. And he'll say, oh, I'll go get you a cart. I have a very big aversion to being the cripple cart. Because for one, I call it the cripple cart. I'm not being rude. I just think it should be there for somebody who shows up who might only have one leg, who served this country and lost one. So no, unless I simply cannot walk, and I had to use them. I loved Kroger's. They juice them puppies up. We have a new Kroger less than a mile from us. Well, you get that thing, you'd have to pull back because somebody opened that front door, you'd be on the highway. Them suckers moved. Every time I got one, it turned in, I'd be laughing halfway through it. If my husband goes, slow down. Oh, it's got this handle. That's all you do. But I would have a lot of fun with those. So I forget now what topic I was on, but as you can see, I talk about all of them. I saw a really great ghost video the other day, and I do subscribe to several. I don't want to just advertise for one, so I don't even think you can legally. It bled. I like music in the background. It bled over on one of my videos, and I had to go in and fix all that if I wanted to air it. Again, it's live. And what you get is what you get. If you're in the Augusta area, let me know. Live chat me. Throw it in the comments. I'll make time and we'll have an interview and we'll talk. Or we don't have to do that. You can Zoom call. You can get up here. Do the picture in the picture. I love this stuff. If it would have been around when I was 20, oh, I'd have been unstoppable. Hey, I have to wear a headband when I'm on, and I like the earphones when I'm on. So I like to hear. Otherwise, I can't quite make out what I'm doing. It's very different when I see it. So I have a headband. You'll see me trying to push it back and forth because it annoys me. I need to go get a haircut, but I wear these to keep the earphones where they're supposed to stay. I can't say that it's working well, but okay. So again, I'm probably scooting through four things. So good luck in catching up to me. The only way you probably catch up to me is get in a live chat or hit comments, do something. I had quite a few viewers on my other channel, and I can't get through. Somehow, I've been trying to let people know to go to the second channel. But I'm an amateur at this. I don't have anybody behind the screen. I don't have a green screen that can say, "Well, we can do this or that." And usually, I'm of the opinion that if you want to know, there's a way to find out. Look it up. Google's got every fucking thing. Who finds the time? I could go to work and two colleges and raise a kid, and I can't stay home retired and then find any time. It's just crazy. We both keep saying they sped up time because literally before we do two things, and then I go, okay, I'm going to start on the housework. Either either my injury makes me stop, or it's just that late because I had to with the injury and trying to heal. I could, and I'm up before dawn, so say 5:30, and so I have to be down by 5. Otherwise, the next day I'm still trying to treat the edema and so forth. They went in and had to use a nerve blocker, and it's a very new thing. They had to go in and find the particular nerve. It's just something else. But it took a month for me to get surgery, and I didn't get into the VA. They were waiting for me. I was going, but it was the day of the hurricane, so that didn't happen. So they sent me to the University of Augusta, which is attached. And it's like the San Antonio when I worked there. Yeah, the VA and all that were attached. So I went in to see the surgeon, and the day I saw him, he's looking at the chart, he's going, "Did is this been a month?" And my husband, I go, "Yeah, it's been a month, and the VA still can't get her into surgery yet because they're so backed up, and their surgery still really isn't up and running." And I couldn't figure how hard it would be. I thought, and he just looked at me and he said, "I want you here tomorrow between 4:30 and 5. You can do that, can't you?" I said, "Yes, sir." This kid is like younger than my kid. He seemed like, but I didn't care. I wanted it, I wanted it done. I wanted to stop being in pieces where I couldn't move and shit, and so much pain. And so I went home, we ate, and I couldn't sleep. So I just got redressed, had one of those bath showers you sit there and use the little thingy for and get somebody to help you out. Luckily, I found that if you set mine next to the bathtub where you were facing out, you could do all of it, and you didn't make too much of a mess, but you could do it by yourself. And I'm a rather stickler person about that. I don't like things like that. I need to take care of myself. And so it was hard to do everything. My poor husband had to step in and do it all. And they don't think you do anything until they have to do your day. He could never get anything done that I would have been able to get done before lunch. He couldn't do it. He tried. Didn't happen. I took pictures and stuff and videos when I was, because he would get me in the wheelchair and run me outside to go to my appointment. So I was like, I need to see the kitchen, The wheelchair didn't fit very well, so I would have to use a crutch to get through there and to the door, and then plop down in there. And around he'd go, and out the door he'd go. And I was like, I'm trying to look around my own house, can't see it. I'm thinking, oh, this is bad. The boy had litter boxes in the kitchen. We have cats. We don't have litter boxes in the kitchen. That's not where they go. And I happened to catch that at one point. I was like, "What are you doing?" No, they go in the utility room. Well, there's too many. And I was like, why are there too many? That's not when I broke this whole mess. And so I'm like, okay, dude, this, and this. And so I went in the bathroom for those that are staying with me. He took a kitten and threw it on my leg, which at that point had not been treated, and said, this one's not going to live. And we get that here. We get kittens, even brought by the mothers, to put in our hands and say help. And there have been 6 or 7 that we've raised by the bottle. But once you do that, you really can't just let them outside. We tried putting a little harness on, walking and all that. They were scared stupid. They climb up your leg and your clothes. And finally, we just like forget it. And then I lost 5 last year, and that broke my heart so bad. In between that and the accident, and oh, it was horrible. Um, and they say, oh, if you have an emergency, call this number. Don't bother. They're not coming. They're not open. And odds are you'll hold your pet as they cross over. So, but I believe in Jesus, and I know they'll all be there waiting. So, I actually saw a ghost video of a cat, and I've seen one though. Weirdly, I saw one where a black cat, like one of mine. I have several different breeds, and it was walking along, and it got to a telephone pole. This is on a security camera that we're getting the footage, and the little thing goes by the pole, but it doesn't come out of the behind the pole. A dude walks. The next thing you see is this dude walking. You can't see through the tree. It's a big tree, so you don't know what the what the hell did that dude just. Where's the cat? I've seen a couple of those. Love to talk about that stuff. Love to be laughing at what's going on with Minnesota. It's not funny after 9 billion, and I think it's way more than that. But they get up there and they say, "We're gonna. This is our country. We're gonna make this our country." Oh, the fuck you are! I dare you to come south and say that. I'm from Chicago. I married a Southern boy. That's said. Cheers. I love that cinnamon burst. I really do. People go, how do you drink whiskey and still talk? I was like, "Yeah, it's not hard for me to talk, period." However, I do keep the show down to an hour. So if I start seeing y'all, yeah, I can take care of that. I'm very conversant in typing. And if I have to, I'll just enable the voice commands. Um, Besides the things that have been going on, and the fact that we stole a supposed president who was really a dictator from Venezuela, but we named his wife as well. That took Trump just a few minutes. The Ayatollah Khomeini, it didn't take him long. It took 9 years to catch Osama bin Laden. Trump is, I'm sorry, war is not funny. But the way that they used to do it, and being an Army veteran, I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? My service people were dying. I don't like that. The 2 that were shot, one killed on Thanksgiving Day in DC. Oh my God. And the one died, the young lady it turned out to be. But they had given their time so others could meet with their families for Thanksgiving, or at least have Thanksgiving at the base. I've done that. It's very nice. Um, but to give their lives, the others horrifically wounded, uh, for their country on a holiday while they're in their country, they're in the country's capital. What the absolute fuck are you people doing that my soldiers are dying in the capital streets? Now, yes, RSVP, riddle me that, Batman. I don't care how you do it. Just let me in on that. Uh huh. I would absolutely believe you need to change that. Uh huh. Sorry. My lips. I'm from the north, and you would think that a little bit of chill wouldn't bother me, but my lips get chapped, and I don't like that waxy stuff that you put on them. And I found I can't tell you what it is, but I found a really good product, and it really helps out with all of that, the dryness. And I got to admit, yesterday while we were out, it was such a gorgeous day. And they say it's going to be 81 today. And so we're all, yay, we're out of the winter. We're in the spring. Spring is lovely. Love spring. Summer, I want to crawl in a dark hole underground. It's always 68 degrees and stay the hell out because it's like standing on the sun. It's my front door, man. You go in to get in the house, or if you've been out for whatever, you're like with an oven, man, trying to get in the front door. It's nuts. It's really nuts. Let's see, what was the other thing I saw up there? Well, the Somalians, anyway. I did touch on that, but when they're coming in to repossess their Lamborghini, and they're going, "I pay for that. I pay for that. That is for the children. I pick up the children for school. I gotta have the children. Children won't go to school. What are you doing? You racist." And I'm like, what are you gonna do? Tie them to the roof? What the hell? You didn't buy that for them kids. Nothing you people have bought for them kids. There isn't any kids in them daycares. Some of them are just a mailbox address. They're just a post office box. And it took this young, brave young man, I mean, he's so smart, to actually say, well, wait a minute, let's go find out why they're spending billions over here with these daycares. They're slamming the AC. And I done tried the same thing. I just want to enroll my kid. No, we don't take it no more. We're full. And slam the door in your face. And I'm like, oh, no, something going ain't a car in the parking lot. They sat there and watched no kids. Then they tried to say that they operated between 2 and 6 because that's when the parents need them. I'm like, this is the United States. Most of us have a brain cell. Go back. You're not welcome here. You're thieves. I mean, there's just, what are we putting up with that for? New York smash and grabs. New York guys running by their little mini bikes and grabbing phones and purses. Where the fuck did they get the money to buy the mini bikes? Why the fuck all are they in hotels? Absolutely, why in the fuck all are they going next to you at Walmart with 4 carts of food and you have a basket? Anybody? I got time. Anybody got an answer to that shit? Yeah, I didn't think so. I'd like to see some people up here like me. You can call me a damn racist all you want, but I guarantee you, if you call me a homegrown fucking terrorist to my face, it will not end well. It just won't. I'm a blessed Army veteran who served her country. I am not a racist. If you look real careful, white's a fucking color too. And all this other shit in my face is fucking racist. I'm with what's his name? I can't think of it. He's a great actor too. I love him to death. I'll think of it when I can't think. But he's like, it's definitely racist to have a black month. I'm serious to God. Anybody got a black month? Anybody? Most of the people who are here, we were all slaves at one point or another. We are all the same color. It's called red. It's called blood. You get hurt, you don't call out and ask if they're from Oklahoma. I mean, you go, oh, Pointo, AB, I'm good over here. You don't give a shit where that came from or who. Grow up. And for God's sakes, if you can't get a job, but you can have a fucking phone and a fucking mini bike, you need to either get out of the country or get a job and assimilate in this country because that's where you wanted to be. If not, get the fuck out. They give you free deportation and give you some money as well. Just get the fuck out. If not, ICE is going to catch you. And if I were 40 years younger, I would have enlisted with ICE going, yeah. And if you'd have gotten my face with a bullhorn, I mean, I would have been, test me, bitch. Yeah, I'll go to the brig. Test me. Let me know when you get that bitch out. These people put them with bullhorns in their faces. I won't put up with shit in my face. They better be 6 foot back, or I will kick their ass and shove them over there if I were 40 years younger. Of course, they frown on that. They're supposed to take the abuse. I frown on that. My men and women in uniform, I don't care whether it's a police officer, an ICE officer, a National Guardsman, a regular Army. I don't care. If they're in one of my uniforms that serve this country, get the fuck off. If you can't do that, you don't need to be in America. You're not going to ever be an American. You didn't come here to try to be an American of such and such descent. I'm an American of British, Irish, and Scottish descent. I will put on a kilt all day long, run around Stone Mountain. My husband is a Native American chief. I will put on my dresses and I will go out and we will do things with the Native Americans. I love Cherokee. Uh, but I'm an American. I don't go around and say I'm an American of this, this, and of that. Who gives a fuck? I'm here because somebody, and I can't, being as I have been around most of the world, disagree with the fact that the parents came here. I haven't done the genealogy all the way, of course, and I'm adopted, so it was nice to know just a few things. But no matter where or when I got to this country, I was born here. I was born in Chicago, Illinois, Cook County. I was born here. That's all I need to know. What I need to know, which was History 101, and I thought I was growing up and it must be a different dimension, because when I was growing up, you had to be born a United States citizen to be in office, especially in fucking Congress. Now, I would apologize for the F bombs, but I'm really not sorry. I did tell you it's not for kids. No, they don't need to be there. And if I were Trump, and Ilhan Omar would scream at me like she was doing when he was delivering the address, yeah, the Secret Serviceman would have grabbed her ass. Pepper sprayed her, tased her a couple times, pepper sprayed her again, handcuffed her, hobbled her feet, putting them spit things over her face, and shoved her in the back of a squad car. This is why they won't let women become president. They frown on that shit. If it was 1780, they'd have done that shit. They probably would have tarred and feathered the bitch. She wouldn't have been sitting there to begin with. This is a country of immigrants. This is a country of, you are now an American. You are no longer an immigrant. You are now a citizen. If you want to be Somalian or you want to be Honduran, get your fucking ass out. What the fuck are you doing here? The thing that they need to stop is all the freebies. That's that. Fuck all. You know, if Cuba was offering hotel service and $200,000 on this, and I could buy this and buy that, and I could steal this and what, I'd fucking move to Cuba too. They got to still get free giveaways. Why does New York have no bail? Defund the police, my ass. Go call a crackhead. See how far you get. If you think that works, I won't know where you live. You think your friend will stick a gun in your face and take your shit? Here's your sign. No, you don't need a sign. You are a sign. You're a walking billboard for stupid. It's like suicide by cop. And I see this all the time. Well, they stole a tag and put it on the car. Cops have already ran their tag for it. They went, doop, doop, doop. They know who you are or who you're supposed to be. And then you go, I know how to ID. I know how to ID. And these Punjabi Indians are driving these semi-trucks in flip-flops with painted on DOT numbers that they actually made up, we think. They're not real. So, of course, the truck gets locked down. My husband, I used to go with him all the time. I've been a driver for years. And, no logbook, none of that shit. And they're up there going, I'd be fine. I do this all the time. I drive in Punjabi. I know what I'm doing. Get out of the way. I have just a load. And this load is like, it's falling apart and two flat tires and shit. And the guy that hit the people hit in Florida with that semi when it was doing that U-turn, that man knew what would happen when he turned that U-turn. He knew when he moved that truck that way that he would cut off four lanes and that nobody would have time to stop. Whoever was in that red car pissed that bastard off, and he would have got away with it in India more than likely. It was just an accident. In America, from what I see, at least he's in jail. Personally, he should be put in a car and run into a semi. But I believe in an eye for that shit. But they frown on that shit. Yeah, they don't want women as president because women don't have a problem going. Yeah, that's not good. We don't need you here. At least deport them if you're not after they serve their sentence. You know, I would like to know that they're not going to stay here. And Lake Riley became a bill. And it's because 20 million people were living here. You think all the good guys came? Oh, maybe some of them. I can't take 20 million people say they're all evil, but I can say that a bunch of terrorists came in, and I can say that a bunch of murderers came in, and I can say that a lot of gangsters or whatever you want to call these boys with the tattoos and all this crap that love some death cult. No, I reckon all of them came through just fine. God knows what happened to the getaways or whoever or whatever. We've got measles outbreaks in states here and states there that they bury in what they call the news programs. And so I like to get my news from the Christian Broadcast Network. I still tune into Fox. Fox started in San Antonio. Like it was like a PBS channel, and it was free, so you didn't have to have cable. So I remember them. And The Simpsons were just a commercial. And I watched Steve Ducey's son, Peter Ducey. He's now White House correspondent. I watched that boy grow up. I mean, he was even on the show a couple times. So I kind of have this thing for Fox. They're not the best, no, and they're not legacy media maybe anymore, but they're almost always about politics, almost always. Um, and I'm very sad to see that because they were a great station for news, and I did go to them a lot. And of course, the San Antonio thing. I was in San Antonio when they formed and all that. I remember when they first got cable, and they were the first to get satellite. And I was really glad because I thought, okay, well, at least I have one news channel because I quit watching the others because it was nothing but politics. There were 15,000 earthquakes, I kid you not, off the coast of Santorini. Nobody covered it. 15,000 earthquakes is kind of fucking important, people. It might not have been here, but it's kind of important. And there's been several other earthquakes here in the United States. The fault line, in particular, along the California area, the San Andreas, is showing that it's widening. And this has been predicted by, I like the sleeping prophet, Mr. Edgar Casey. May his memory be a blessing. He has um, they were very good about when he went into trance. His wife and secretary took all of that down. Now there's the Research for Enlightenment in Virginia. You can go to and look up. The man had a cure for baldness. When he was in trance, he didn't know what he said. He would heal, identify, tell you where the medicine was, what was wrong, yada. I mean, and they only allowed him to do that on people who were terminally ill. He saved every fucking one of them. Sorry. Uh, he, he actually ran Sunday school, so I don't like to swear when I'm talking about Mr. Casey. You should look him up. You can find him if you can't find him under Edgar Casey. Look for Sleeping Prophet, and you'll find him there. And look into things that you're interested in trying to find out, like reincarnation. That's always a good one. People seem to be funny to me. They go to these tent things, and then it becomes an auditorium thing to hear these people speak. And these people are wearing $15,000 suits and traveling in their own private jet. You got there on the Greyhound, and you had to borrow money when you got back to buy groceries. So keep putting money in that fleet. I don't get it. Church, as I stated earlier, Jesus, one of the parables was, the false church. And I'm down here screaming at Jesus, going, which one is the right church? can't go to any of them. I was raised basically Catholic, and so every once in a while, I call it high holidays. I try to pop into the cathedral, light a few candles, and say my prayers. Sometimes I might make it Ash Wednesday and all that. It depends. It's not a given. And yet, I'm not kissing anybody's ring. I'm just not doing it. The other thing I want to know is why the hell they took the needle from, was it Aswan? Well, they took it from Egypt and they put it in St. Peter's Square, this obelisk from Egypt. Why? And they had to work at that to do that. That's been some time ago. Mind you, you had people like Bernini, Da Vinci. You had all of these people who were decorating. Uh, you should see it. And you can do it virtually now. I used to run through there, and you're not supposed to run. I'm out there in uniform running. But yeah, they got a lot of stuff. You might want to check it out. But I'm not kissing rings. Mm. So, even sticking with my Bible, uh, I mean, even I'm just the New Testament. I try to read it through every year because Mr. Casey did, and I really admire Mr. Casey. And he said he'd come back in 2020 or 2010 or 2020. I keep hoping he's come back in 2010 and then he'll be popping out here soon as an adult, say, I mean, because it's 26. He'd be 16 if he came in 2010. So I'm hoping he reincarnated here and I get to see him before I cross over. Yes, I believe in reincarnation. Reincarnation was proved in a court in New York. Yeah, look it up. Ah, my goodness. My time is coming up, I'm afraid. And I didn't get anybody today. And I was hoping to make up the time from being on and being off rather earlier this week. I will hopefully not miss a day. So I decided if I did miss a day, I would throw one on Saturdays. It's not like it's real popular yet. I don't know if it'll ever be popular. It's one of those things where, again, I don't give a rat's because I don't have to. I hope people come up. I hope they say, "Hey, bitch, you can't do this or whatever," or come in and say, "Hey, I agree with you," and let's talk. Grab a drink at your house. Come by here. If any of you hippies are here in Augusta, I'll get security to bring you in. My security being my husband, and he's always armed and loaded. And actually, so am I. After I finally had to start to wear glasses, I moved to laser sighting. So, yeah, I don't even have to run after you and yell, stop or I'll shoot. I'm just going to paint you and pull a trigger. I'm not yelling, stop or I'll shoot. Are you stupid? I pull a weapon, ladies and gentlemen. If I pull a weapon, you're done. I'm going to shoot your head, and then I'm going to aim for your torso if I didn't get your head. But I'm going to try to kill you. I'm not going to try to make you skip around, go, ow, 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 and run out of the house. I'm going to try to take your head off, double tap you. You don't belong in my house. You don't belong in anybody's house stealing. I've watched some of these people with their stealing networks and how bad it's gotten. You're going to hit the wrong house when you start going south. There are only a few things that the Southerners believe in. That's their guns, their Bibles, and fucking duct tape. You turn a redneck loose with some duct tape. You'll have a pool in the backyard. Don't get me started. It's funny as hell. I've lived here off and on for a couple decades now, and I get tired and I run back to Texas. I just do. And that's where I took my husband. I took him from Georgia to Texas, down to San Antonio. And after about, I think it was like 3 or 4 years, I finally married him because he kept asking every day. It blew my mind when he got pneumonia. They said I couldn't come in. I said, okay. I went out to my car. I got my lab coat, walked in. Nobody noticed. It's all on how you dress, guys. Who you are. So, like I said, I didn't see any of you today. So I hope that if you do see me, you'll help me out and you'll tell me why you don't like me. And you'll tell me what I'm doing wrong. That'll be great. Love that. And maybe one or two of you say, hey, you're doing pretty good for an amateur. And you never know. Somebody might be kind. Not everybody is. And so I guess I better just wrap it up because I see, like I've said, my hour's coming up. I got tons to do. It's Saturday, meaning I took 3 days off this week to get things done, but most of it's caught up. So I'm not even sure what I'm cooking today, but I'm actually going to cook something. So my husband better cross his fingers. And the world's worst cook. Everybody out there, have a good weekend. It was good talking to y'all. Come see me. Leave me a note and stay out of trouble.